So, Sam...
Cut it out.
Are we recording? Because I still got the candy in my mouth.
Yeah, I wonder if we should stop recording and refresh, get more coffees. You're going to leave that in, you son of a goat.
I have to. Oh, my phone's going off, too. Man, we weren't really ready for that, were we? Oh, the Leafs game starts in 15 minutes. This is a bad time to record. So,
would you like me to get you a coffee?
Yeah, we'll probably have more winning remarks on this than the Leafs.
We'll be right back.
After these messages.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
So should we introduce ourselves? Because we haven't recorded an episode. I was thinking about this while I was driving home from work. Was it the 19th of December when we recorded? Because I remember we were going to put the episode out in a week, and it was going to be the 26th on Boxing Day, and I was like, oh, maybe, I'm not sure if I'll get it done. I didn't get it done. And I think that episode came out on like the 28th or 29th or 30th or something in December. So it's been like
a while.
3 weeks or so since we recorded, and we've only had one episode out since the 19th. So we should reintroduce ourselves because
they forget who we are.
Yeah, probably not. We might as well though.
Well, we just introduce ourselves every episode. If for no other reason, we should do it for that.
Yes, but every episode I try and justify it in my head. Why are we introducing ourselves again? People know who we are at this point. At least the 20 or 30 or 40 odd people that listen know who we are at this point. But I feel like we should still introduce ourselves because I feel like that's
what?
I know. I feel like it's a routine that we've gotten into that we can't break out of.
So my name's Alan / Okona because I'm rogue. I slash. But I'd also like to add that given the activities I've had since then, I'd also like to say I'm also Wham Bam Toe Rash.
The alt. You were almost
Clinky Chinky against my shield.
You were almost Al Blunt Okona, but someone stole your mace.
Son of a motherless goat.
Was it stealing or was he just nice and gave it to him?
He was too nice and gave away his mace.
A little too nice.
I'm Sam / Rolaren.
Sam, shoot Lolaran?
Shoot.
Because you're an archer. No, you're a ranger. No, what are you called in this game?
Gun.
A hunter. You're a hunter. Ranger is another game that we don't talk about because Al gets all moody.
It's an evil game.
It's not an evil game. It's the reason WoW exists. And I'm Will Riker / Josh. Do I say it?
You went the wrong way, but it's
okay. Did I do it
okay.
the wrong way again? Doesn't matter.
Unless he identifies as a
also
Will Riker, and Josh is just his figment of his imagination.
I actually believe I'm Will Riker now. Did you know that when I'm in Discord and people say Will, I just automatically assume they're talking to me? It's like it's my name, and I don't even have to think about it.
And that's where you find out they're actually talking to Will Ferrell's.
He hasn't shown up in weeks, so it can't be Will Ferrell's. But do you just automatically respond? Like, say we're in raid, and someone says Okona, or someone says Okuna, or Okono, or one of those various things that they call you. Do you automatically respond to those, or do you have to think, oh, are they talking about me when they say Okone?
It's funny they ask that because they don't say Okona, they say Okona.
Okona. It was Okona this past week.
Yes.
It's been other things on other weeks.
They apparently don't watch Star Trek. Bully on them. But I said, oh yeah, they're talking about me. So it took me a moment. I wasn't responding much this weekend anyway, but...
So, here's the thing. You say they don't watch Star Trek, but, Prodigy aside, Okona is a one single episode, not even the entire episode character, of one of the series of dozens of seasons of Star Trek. So you could watch hundreds of episodes of Star Trek and still have no idea who Okona is.
So what's your point?
My point is that they may watch Star Trek but still not know what Okona is a reference to.
Oh, but it's fine to pick Will Riker. They'll know who he is?
Yeah, because he was in like 187 episodes, roughly.
Now, was that the right number?
I don't know. I hope so. I'm going to look it up.
Pause for awkward silence.
Oh, no, I'm looking it up. This isn't awkward at all.
Just let it out.
Anyway, I know he's in one episode. I'm just being dramatic, as usual. However, as you mentioned, Star Trek Prodigy has brought back so many things, and they have at least 2 episodes with Okona That's right.
So people may start knowing your name. Oh, I said 187? There's 178. If I was dyslexic, I would use that as an excuse. Oh, I need this still. Has my notes. Okay, so we've introduced ourselves. We've rambled. Where does it say how long we've been doing this for? 6.5 minutes already. That's crazy.
But we really only have about 2 minutes of useful time.
Yes, here's the fun game we can play. I'm looking at the time and I'm going to say we've been recording for 6 minutes and 45 seconds as of right now. Anyone listening can look at the play time for the episode and be like, "Oh wow, I've been listening for 1 minute and 14 seconds," and realize just how much nonsense has been going on for the last now 7 minutes that we've had to cut out.
I'm going to say at the point that you said that, it would be 2 minutes and 23 seconds.
Keeping in mind that we have a roughly 15 to 20 second intro that I tack on the beginning.
38 seconds.
And I do have a habit of leaving in a lot of nonsense. So should we start talking about...
what are we here for? Oh, WoW.
Yes, WoW. Should we start talking about WoW?
Yeah.
Do we want to do news first?
Well, I'm having a hard time talking to you. This is probably because this is the latest we've ever recorded a podcast.
It is 1 a.m. right now.
In somewhere. Not here.
Well, people can't
7.
possibly know what time to record. We don't need to be honest. If we're going to be stuttering and stammering and sounding like we don't know how to talk, we might as well pretend that it's like 1 a.m. But no, it's 7 p.m.
What?
Sam's usually in bed by now. So are we going to do the news first?
Sure.
Because I have news. Do you have news?
Very little, but yes.
Sam, do you have news? Have we cut you off yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
She refuses to talk, so she'll get cut off.
Let's do the news intro.
I don't like this chair.
That wasn't
I
the
am
news intro.
slowly sinking down.
What are you thinking about?
Is Al in your chair?
Yes.
Would you like to switch chairs
I
with
was
Al?
too scared to ask for my chair.
Would you like?
Do you not
would you
have
guys
it
like to
covered?
switch chairs real quick?
We pause. We're going to do a little chair thing while our news intro goes.
It's time for the news.
We should, we should have done actually. Let's start that over where we edit it. We'll play some music and we'll treat it like we're doing musical chairs. And
We
then
can still do that.
Then we can make a shuffle noise and sit down in our chairs. All right, so this shouldn't be so. Whoa!
Yeah.
Now Al's in the low chair. Okay, so at this point, I'm assuming I stopped talking because you started talking. Talk.
She was going to make
I
fun
was
of
going
my
to make a deep
thing.
throat joke, but it's okay. Continue.
Oh, well, you should have made the joke.
Moment has passed
Okay.
because you cut me off.
No, I didn't. I heard you talking, and I immediately stopped and asked you what you were going to say.
Trust me. Have you seen me? It's not a deep throat thing.
No. So I'm assuming at this point,
It's because of my back. I can't bend over that far.
I'm assuming at this point our news intro has played. So we're talking about the news.
You don't have to assume. You can place it anywhere in this timeline that you want.
I don't know what future me is going to do. Sometimes I do weird things. For example, sometimes I will edit out a cough and then a comment about a throat, and then leave in all the subsequent jokes about the throat just to be mysterious. When I'm
Actually, it's
editing
more
the
like
podcast.
sometimes you do normal things.
Well, I guess, yeah.
You
you're
very
probably
often
right.
do weird things.
So we're in the news segment. Do you have any news, Alan?
I guess you really want to have me start. All
Well,
right.
I mean, I just figured rather
Look at
than
his
me...
news list.
No, that's not my news list. This is my things I want to talk about during this episode, but probably won't have time list.
So anyway, my news is brush off your pants because you have to do a lot of saluting and honoring of elders real soon. The Lunar Festival is coming out. We'll do a more in-depth news piece probably in the next week or two as we will have another podcast, but just get ready for it. You're going to get some ancestral coins where you can buy some things. You're going to have to venture into
Is that
enemy
what this one
territory.
is? This is the one with the coins?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't like the one with the coins.
If I'm wrong, well, then we'll find out.
Because we didn't actually look any of this up.
No,
Because I figure we have
the
another-
lunar thing. You
I
honor
know.
the elders.
Is
So
it?
you-
I
yeah.
didn't remember what it was.
So you get the coins. Coins in the past were for buying, again, pieces of clothing to do things where in this case it would be for getting achievements. I think we're even going to do a pole dance. Woohoo!
There's a pole?
I think so.
Is this the one?
Oh no, that's the
it's
fire
not.
one. The fire one.
I was going to
the
say, is this the
dance.
one with the big Burning Man guy? But is that the...
No, that was Halloween.
Was that Halloween?
Yeah.
I don't remember
In
Burning
front-
Man.
Yeah, nobody went to it. He's in front of Undercity.
So that's the Halloween one. Oh, I guess that wasn't part of the achievements.
But
But we'll do our next episode. We're going to have another episode coming up before the Lunar Festival.
yeah,
So we'll do a deep dive into the Lunar Festival on our next episode with all of the achievements and stuff, because we're all about the achievements and stuff.
yeah. That'll include going into enemy cities, going into dungeons.
Oh, you know what we didn't do? We didn't go shoot the leaders with our BB guns.
We can still do it.
But do we get the achievement for it?
I believe so. But
Oh,
if
really?
not-
It doesn't have to be during the holiday?
Well, if not, we'll do it next holiday.
I don't
Okay.
know if I kept my BB gun.
Did you
I
destroy
got rid of all my stuff because I thought we were done with the Mary Maid
Well,
stuff.
you got to keep the bin.
Mary Maid?
Is that not what it's called?
Mary Maker.
Mary, that's close.
You got to keep your BB gun.
Yeah, I kept my BB gun just
So
because I was
shoot your
always
eye.
planning on
Well-
shooting people. You know you can recover items, right?
Can you look at my list to make sure I did?
Yes.
Well, we can look in your bags and see if you still have it, but if you don't, Blizzard has a wonderful item restoration service, which I have talked about in a previous episode.
Yeah, it took you how many days?
Yeah, because there was an issue, but there's not always an issue. Like, that was the one item that didn't show
But
up.
the thing
on
is,
my
I don't
list.
think I sold it. I think I destroyed it.
That's fine.
Yes.
You can recover destroyed items.
Oh,
You go into the support
I guess I can't
tab in game, and it'll bring up a list of every item you've destroyed over the last like 6 months or something. And is it once a week?
Every 7 days.
I think every 7 days you can have a block of items restored. So if you just destroyed something, they'll restore it. If you sold it, they'll restore it, but they'll mail it to you and it debits you the amount of money you got for selling it. Like if you vended it, I mean.
Yeah.
If you disenchanted it, they'll restore it, but you have to refund the mats you got
always.
from disenchanting, except for in my case because they didn't make me, because, I don't know, because I complained, I guess. But yeah, you'll probably just be able to restore it. If we decide to go shoot things with our BB gun, which we should because it sounds fun. So Lunar Festival, that was your news.
Yeah, and I think maybe I've got the wrong information. When we get the deep dive, I'll make sure I'm correct. But isn't Omen kind of hangs around for the Lunar Festival, doesn't he?
Omen?
Yeah, in the Druid area, there's that boss.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right,
We'll have to look. I haven't looked into it. I don't remember the Lunar Festival. I think that's one I always used to skip, because I've never actually finished the Long Strange Trip before, and I feel like I'm pretty good. I get hyped up about it at Halloween. I'm pretty good at going steady through the Christmas, and what's the other one we had recently? Was there another one, or was it
No.
just Halloween and Christmas? No, there was Brewfest. I get hyped up in
I didn't do-
Brewfest.
Thanksgiving.
You didn't do
I
Brewfest?
didn't do Brewfest because
well,
you
you'll
said
get it
you were
next
going to
time,
help
right?
me and then you ignored me.
I didn't ignore you. I just didn't help you.
Brewfest was in August. We haven't had Wrath of the Lich King Brewfest yet.
Brewfest was in October.
October. We haven't had Wrath of the Lich King Brewfest yet.
No, we haven't.
No, it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So we had Brewfest, Thanksgiving. We did Brewfest.
Oh, the Pilgrim.
Wrath just wasn't out yet. So I
Yes.
don't think it was part of our podcast, but we did do Brewfest.
But we haven't done it in the Long Strange Trip.
Yes, we have.
I have not.
You haven't because you didn't finish, but we both have. Because we
So
started
does that
back.
mean I'm not going to finish the Long
You
Strange
can finish
Trip?
it. You just need to finish Brewfest. The last one, I think the last one's in like August or September or something. So you'll just get your Long Strange Trip achievement in October instead of when we get it, which is fine. You can still get it. It's not a big deal. But we started playing back again just before Brewfest, like a couple weeks before Brewfest, because remember we were still leveling. Like we were still almost was 70 the max level then? We were still
Yeah.
almost 70 at that point.
I forgot that.
Because I think we hit 70 during Brewfest.
Yeah, I forgot that they released the achievements before they released Northrend.
Yeah, because it was all during the Wrath pre-patch, so the achievements were out. I do remember that because I remember that was the first one we got for our Long Strange Trip, and I remember thinking, because that's where I usually start trying to do the long Strange Trip, and I always lose interest during Lunar Festival, so I have to not lose interest during Lunar Festival this time. When I say this year, it makes it sound like I do this every year, and I don't. So we'll do a full episode, not a full episode. We'll just do a deep dive on the Lunar Festival next episode. There is other news. So I have other news. Actual, like, cool news, which I don't know if you guys know, because I always feel like I know news you don't. I know you don't know. So, are you familiar with the meta achievements for Naxx?
You added meta. I don't know.
Well, you know how you have individual achievements, and then you have like a meta achievement that if you get all the achievements done, you get the meta achievement.
Okay.
So there's meta achievements for dungeons and that like the heroics, and you get like a title and stuff if you get all those. And then there's the Glory of the Raider, I think they're called.
Yeah.
Where you've got all the 10-man achievements and all the 25-man achievements, and if you complete them all, you get a title and a mount. So in original Wrath, they got rid of the mount as soon as Ulduar came out. So if you didn't have your meta achievement done when Ulduar came out, you could still get the title, but you could never get that mount again. So Blizzard has announced that they are not removing the mount. So people like me and us who have struggled and not gotten those achievements yet could come back wearing Alduar gear with our guild, who is bolstered by having Alduar gear because we're generally not good enough to get stuff done without being over-geared for it. And we can go back and get those achievements and the mounts at a later date.
Nice.
It is nice. So that means that, like, for example, I've been doing these 10-man runs with guildies trying to get, like, all the 10-man achievements. And right now, I am short 2. I am missing Undying, and I'm missing the 3 Drake... what's the name of the dragon in Obsidian Sanctum? The 3 Drake Obsidian Sanctum kill. I've been
Twice?
practicing. I know, I've been practicing.
He said
I can say it
Obsidian
now.
Sanctum twice.
I did.
I'm
So, but
proud of
I'm
you.
missing those 2 achievements. And up until a few days ago, I thought, okay, next week is my last shot, and then I could still get their titles, but that's my last shot at getting the mount. It is no longer my last shot at getting the mount. I can go back and I can keep trying.
Nice.
It is nice.
That means that I can still try.
That means you can try, and you absolutely should try.
That means I have to actually go to them.
Yeah, you can't get the achievements if you don't go do them,
I know, why do they do it so late at night?
because that's when people who have jobs tend to do things.
There is one guild out there that I used to see advertised who had a daytime run. I think they're the only ones that had a daytime run, but I'm just still not sure that would work for us.
At this point, we stopped recording for a solid 5 minutes to deal with a distraction, and when we got back, we had no idea what we were talking about. Okay, so you were saying something about what do you want?
I don't remember. I honestly have no idea what I was saying.
Oh yeah, we were talking about nighttime raids.
Right, that they're late
because
at night.
I like sleep.
Well, you can still get sleep. You just gotta change when you get it.
Yeah, but when you work at 6 o'clock the next morning and raid doesn't stop until like 1, that's not enough sleep for me.
Well, I left at 10:30 last night.
Yeah, Al didn't stick around.
Yeah,
You
I
should have
always
seen all the
feel-
rogue loot that dropped in Eye of Eternity and OS.
Yeah, I think you're just trying to tease me, but it doesn't matter. I was deadly tired, and obviously I needed it, given the fact that I woke up at 7:01 for my 7 o'clock shift today.
Yes. Obviously, you needed the sleep, given the fact that I posted something in Discord after the last 2 bits of the raid, and you immediately responded.
Well, I told you I had to turn my phone down.
Yes, you should have turned it down in advance.
I didn't turn it down after that. I never turned my phone down, because my biggest fear is that I don't know. Am I turning my alarm down too?
Oh, yeah, that's a rough one.
No, your alarm will still go off if your phone's
I
on
know,
silent.
but I'm still paranoid.
See, I never turn my phone down because I'm always paranoid about the same thing.
Yeah, and your alarm's super loud,
I
just so you know. Like,
okay. So when
super
my alarm
loud.
went off, so it will wake me up. If it's super quiet, it won't wake me up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you
get the-
noticed this morning when my alarm went off, I got up and I hit snooze, but I also turned my volume down. So the other times it went off, it was much quieter.
Do you hear my alarm?
I hear you get up and talk to me when you wake up.
I don't talk to you when I wake up.
You always say bye.
Oh, sorry, I can stop.
Okay, so 10-man achievements. We talked about that a bit. The achievements will be easier once everybody / some people have Alduar gear.
Will
Although
I
you're
ever
not
catch
really-
up to you two?
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Al's not caught up either.
How much do you think I have?
More than I do.
No, you have better gear than Al does.
Achievements.
Oh, achievements. I thought you were talking about gear.
Oh,
No.
yeah, just do the stuff we're doing.
I am trying. I'm even trying to do like PvP stuff that I know you haven't done yet, and I still haven't caught up to you.
Yeah, but you've gotten closer.
I also hate PvP, so I don't want to actually do it.
Yeah, it's rough. Oh yeah, so for catching up, I don't know about achievements, but catching up with gear will be easier because Naxx 25 gear is going to be dropping in Naxx 10, and apparently Naxx 10 and some 25 gear is going to be dropping in the new Heroic Plus dungeons, so it's going to be easy to get the catch-up gear.
How
I
hard
don't
is it
want
going to be to
ketchup
get the
on my
mustard
gear.
gear?
The mustard gear, if by mustard gear you mean Alduar gear, not super hard because we still have open raid spots and no roads.
You know what? I really relish that idea.
Good one. I like that. So other news, I enjoyed this one, especially after given last night's raid events. So Deathknights are being seriously nerfed.
Woohoo!
Particularly the spec of a certain Deathknight that stole a certain weapon from me last night.
But is it really stealing when he gives it to them?
No, but he was pressured. So should we just... So without naming any names or saying what guild we're in, so we were in a raid last night, and one of Al's / Okona's best weapons that he can get, I think the second best main hand weapon you can get right now, because you want a slow, powerful main hand, dropped, and Al won the roll on it. and a certain Deathknight in the guild had many
Tantrum?
many words. Tantrum's probably a strong word, but a very close descriptive word.
I recorded it.
Oh, there we go.
I want to listen to it.
Yeah, you could.
Maybe I'll cut it into. I'm going to cut it into this later on.
Yeah, so he was not happy and was going on and on about why would a rogue get his best weapon that's clearly a DK weapon.
Do you want me to forward you that clip?
Sure, I can maybe edit it in here. I don't know if that's
Unless names are being said, I wouldn't.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in there.
I don't know if we should. We probably shouldn't.
I don't think there's any names.
They say your name more than once.
Well, that's fine.
But we'll edit the clip to.
But is there something bad about using clips of audio of other people who didn't know they were being recorded?
I wouldn't.
Without asking them first. I feel like we probably shouldn't.
Okay.
That seems like a no-no.
But I do. I want to hear it.
We can alter the frequency, so we're basically modulating the voice.
We'll see, but probably not.
I think
we can listen to it and have a giggle about it.
When and if I do the video version of this, I will put the little Star Wars slow crawl over this little conversation we're having.
But just a typed out what's transcript? A transcript of the conversation.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Al was pressured into a rogue should not have this weapon. It should go to me, the Death Knight, who then left the guild right after the raid. So because he wanted to join a better, in air quotes, guild and raid hardcore and utilize his skills.
Doesn't
in air
hardcore
quotes.
mean if you die you have to delete your character?
There's more than one meaning of hardcore.
Oh.
That's hardcore. Like there's that kind of hardcore, and then there's also like raiding, like progression raiding, and very try hard parse chasing.
Then my favorite version of hardcore.
No, we're not gonna go there.
I was like into this. I was trying to listen, and then I realized where he was going with that.
Yeah. So, in my defense for giving up the weapon, is that I did soft reserve the one I was hoping to drop.
Calamity's Grasp.
But
it didn't drop.
It didn't drop. But he said it was pretty much the best in slot for his going through the whole next expansion. So for me,
there's no way that's true.
That's what he said. And then for me, I'm just thinking, if that's his BIS and I'm just planning on ditching it really, really soon, what's the harm? You know, he was using it.
You may never ditch it because you may not raid Ulduar enough to get a good weapon.
Well, you said that there's a good one in Ulduar 10, so I'm going to try and get that. But
I probably did.
I figured, you know what, I'm providing to a guildie who's getting his BIS.
But he's not anymore.
So I figured I'm providing to a guildie. He's getting his BIS. It's for the benefit of the guild. Okay, if I had known he was just going to drop guild right after, I would have told him to kick stones. So yeah, I'm not upset about giving it to him. I'm upset that he left the guild after I did. That's kind of a low blow.
That happened
But anyways, sorry, what?
Nothing.
No, say it.
That happened to you.
Talking mid-sentence. Just say
When
what
we
you
were
gonna say.
part of the other guild, when you're the healer, your healer shield dropped. It was a roll-off between you or something, and then they got kicked out like the next day or right after or something.
Yeah.
And then you never got that shield.
It was a weapon. It was the
I thought it was a
healing
shield.
weapon off Cthulhu, and it was me and another paladin, another holy paladin. I'm making a Death Knight character so I can check and see if it's actually his best in slot on 80 upgrades here. So we'll see. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it was another holy paladin who was mouthy and annoying and was constantly running ahead and getting aggro on raids. And he ended up getting kicked out of the guild the week that he won the roll-off on the weapon that we both had hard reserved. Soft reserved? I don't know what the terminology for it is exactly. Sorry, I'm trying to make a character on 80 upgrades while doing this.
Is it that important at this very moment?
He's just checking.
I can edit out the long pauses. I want to be able to say whether or not it's true. I don't know, what spec is easy? Is that unholy?
I don't know.
I think it's unholy. The dual wield spec. Let's see. Now 80 upgrades isn't always the most accurate thing when it comes to predicting the best gear. So let's see here. We're going to take out two-handed weapons. So what was the name of that weapon? Angry Dead. Angry Dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming he wants a slow weapon. So I'm assuming he wants a slow main hand. Is that what he's probably going for? I thought DKs wanted fast weapons.
I don't know.
Okay, so slow weapon. So there's that one, Angry Dead, which is like 20 down on the list if I put in phase 2.
He probably just said it's his best in slot just to get it.
Oh, here we go. Razor Scale, Alduar 10. Same speed, similar stats, significantly more DPS. There is... that's fast. Oh, here's another one. Yogg Saron in Alduar 10. These are the 10-mans. Again, similar stats, plus hit rating. Similar speed, more DPS. Got the PvP weapons, no one cares. Alright, we've got fast. Oh, another slow. That's from Kologarn. I can't pronounce these things. In Alduar 25. Fast. Oh, here we've got another one from Alduar 25. Another slow weapon that's much higher DPS. That's fast. Oh, here we go. That's Arena.
What if you went back to phase 1?
Oh, here we go. There's another Alduar.
Like the name of the DK.
What?
No.
Did you not see that when I was typing it?
No.
We're not going to say what it is because it's a pun based on the based on the other Deathknight. So, anyways, all of that just for me to say that DKs were nerfed because I guess they have a gargoyle pet that they get a big chunk of their DPS from, and what they would do is you'd stack haste, so you'd get engineering clickable haste gloves. How does engineering work? Is it the gloves?
Yep.
So you get those, you get a speed potion that you pre-pot, early bloodlust, and there's other clickables and various consumables that can bump up your haste, and basically you can get yourself up to like 370% haste as a normal character, or 400 if you're a troll, because you have that racial is that, am I saying that right? Racial? Yeah, I'm saying that right.
Berserker Rage.
Yeah, Berserker Rage, which give you extra haste. You can get over 400% haste, and what the gargoyle does is it snapshots your haste when you summon your gargoyle, and the gargoyle lasts for 2 minutes, and it has this attack that I guess is normally a 2-second cast time on this attack, but if you snapshot it with this like 370 to 400% haste, it can get down to like 0.35 seconds. So basically it just spams this attack and it does a ridiculous amount of DPS, and as a result the Unholy Deathknights are topping all the damage meters.
That's pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet, but Blizzard was like, no, that is too sweet, because this scales, and it also snapshots your attack power. So as gear gets better and you can stack more haste, then this is just going to scale up and up and up, and it's going to get stupid. So like DKs are going to be so far ahead of all the other DPS classes that they were like, no, we can't do that. So they changed it. So instead of snapshotting that haste for the entire 2 minutes, it updates it with every attack. So when your haste potion wears off, then the attacks slow down. When bloodlust wears off, the attacks slow down, etc., etc. So what are we doing right now?
Continue talking.
What?
Just continue talking. Forget that I did something.
Etc., etc.
Etc., etc. Sam's being distracting. So anyways, they nerfed it. So DKs that have been bragging about how awesome they are at DPS are going to be doing considerably less DPS. I did read or hear or see, I don't remember if I read it or saw a video or listened to a podcast or what, someone was saying it could be as much as like a 25 to 40% DPS reduction in Deathknight single target DPS, which you're smugly smiling, because you probably know that Combat Rogue is going to be one of the highest DPS specs.
If I can ever figure out how to use it.
Yeah, learning how to play is one of the hurdles. Getting gear is the other hurdle.
Yeah.
So there. What are you doing?
I'm just getting stuff.
Okay.
Yep, props.
So that's my... Yeah, I hope he doesn't have props. So that's the news. I'm trying to think if there was more news.
Well,
I don't think I have more news.
You put this in the news section last time. So
did we? Was that in the news section?
Yeah. So you guys got me gifts. And, well, this is my first time being over here since Christmas.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I brought you gifts, and I wrapped them rather stealthily. I'm going to take a picture of them.
I have no idea what that is.
Wrapped them rather stealthily. And do you remember when I laughed earlier? Don't take it.
I am moving some of the nonsense on the desk so you can take a picture.
Do you remember when I laughed at you earlier when we were talking about this?
But what? The toys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is for Sam. Don't look at the bottom. I might give it away.
Okay.
And this is for Josh.
Ooh.
And remember I said, don't you hate when they use too much tape?
Yes, that's a lot of tape.
And I feel like you don't know how to wrap.
This is mostly You took a picture of this, right?
Yeah.
Of your wrapping job. I wonder if there's a way to change the title picture on a podcast.
This, I had strips and I just wrapped it around like that.
Yeah, that's kind of like what it looks like.
I kind
How
of
am I supposed
purposely
to...
did it like that. Just for
Should we
fun.
just scissor it out? See, the thing is, I don't need to open it
Scissor
because
me,
I can
daddy
see.
ass.
You didn't actually do the lid, so I
I
can
know.
see
And
the
that's why I put more
word.
tape on it.
I believe this is probably some sort of Crown Royal bottle. I can't get it open.
It's got way more tape than you have, but
I'm just gonna muscle through it. Oh, I'm so close to the microphone with this. I'm backing up.
I got a bottle of Fireball.
So I can make you those drinks.
One of
you
the
like.
whiskeys I can actually drink straight.
now if I was spending the night, no rumors intended,
That sounds bad.
could have done shots.
We can do one now.
No, I'm going to be driving home later.
Oh, it's the apple. I love the apple.
Of course. I picture that flying across the room any second.
It's a sturdy bottle. I don't think it would break, would it?
Yes, but I'm reading the line of fire.
That's your own fault
You
at
might
that
get
point.
concussed. Okay, there we go. I think I got it.
Oh,
Oh, there's still tape. The lid's taped on. There we go.
I can
That was
replace
fun
my
to
tiny
open.
bottle with the big one.
it's the same size bottle.
Just go. No,
It's
she's
not. I
got
have the,
a
like-
tiny bottle.
I
of
got
water
the tiny
there.
bottle.
So should me and Sam have our shots without Al?
No, I don't want to open this one yet. I want to finish the other one before I
okay.
open that one.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna do shots, I'll do like a half shot. And just
Get the shot glasses.
We're actually doing a shot?
We'll have little half shots. We can't have whole shots because Al has to drive home in 4 hours approximately. So it's not drinking and driving if it's
am I
in
going
4
home in
hours.
4 hours? You're gonna host me until 2:00 in the morning?
6 o'clock in the morning. Because remember, we started recording at 1 a.m.,
Oh, right.
which is the reason why we're not speaking properly.
Yeah, after I wrapped Sam's, because hers was a scrap piece of wrapping paper I had left over. So hers was a little more difficult. Yours, I said, okay, I like this. So I cut another strip.
So basically, you did a bad job of wrapping, and we're like, I'm just going to lean into this all the way.
Yeah, it's not a bad job. It was a satirical
funny-
job. That's
funny
it,
way.
with satire. It's not wrong, actually.
So how much of this do you want? You just want a little bit?
And do you want the apple whiskey or
No,
the
no.
cinnamon whiskey?
I want to try the Fireball.
You want to try the Fireball?
Well, the one that I already had or the one you gifted?
Doesn't matter. They're the same, right?
Fill it up and I'm going to sip
But-
on it. I
but
love
you're-
sipping the apple.
I don't know how
Crown
much
Royal.
you want. I'm a heavy pourer. Oh, okay.
So again, I'm driving. It's gonna be paranoid. So here,
It's like
That's
like a
like a
quarter
quarter.
of a shot.
it's a baby shot. No, I'd say it's half.
Is it?
These are big shot glasses.
I guess. Are these the 2 ounces?
Yes. These aren't from Cuba. I think they're from Mexico.
Did I not say they're from Mexico?
Riviera
Mexico.
Maya, Mexico is what my glass says. It says to drink
Yes.
or not to drink. What a stupid question.
Yes. This is my second trip, which was Mexico. My first trip was Mexico. Second trip, Cuba. Then I went
Broke
back
the seal.
to Mexico. I've only been to Cuba once.
Get out, the world traveler.
Cuba traveler.
I went to Chicago
I've been to
once.
Chicago.
Oh, hey, we both been to Chicago. Haven't you been farther than that? You've traveled,
I've
haven't
been
you?
to Banff.
Banff is a long ways away. It's a lot farther than Chicago.
Oh, is it?
Or are we doing like a?
Yeah, we're gonna
clinky
do a little clink
We'll
here.
see how loud this is if I have to edit the clink out.
No, we're gonna leave it in.
Depends how loud it is. No, it looked reasonable.
Oh yeah,
I like sipping it. It's
I-
tasty.
gonna
Sam's
have
got
to
a
get
look
some
on
of
her face.
that.
The Fireball? Fireball's good.
It's a cinnamon heart.
Basically, it's a liquid alcohol cinnamon
Well,
heart.
look me sideways with a chainsaw.
All it takes is a half shot to get him there, I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, World Traveler. No,
We need cranberry.
interesting factoid.
We can get some. They sell it at grocery stores.
Do you know how I complained about my sister-in-law giving me group texts off her app?
Am I going to have to edit this in?
Well, you can leave it in if you want. It's part of the news.
Okay.
But she sent another group text, but it was for next Christmas.
Are you going away next Christmas?
She said, "Don't buy gifts. Let's plan a big family. So we're gonna have a big family outing somewhere."
Are we
We're not
invited?
invited, I suppose.
less.
See, that's a no.
No, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to
It's a
get you into my
no-stutter.
family.
You're
Nah.
part of our family.
Yeah, but I haven't quite put you in my family yet.
Oh,
Oh, come on. Me joining your family is a bit of an upgrade. You joining, okay, yeah, it's a bigger upgrade, but no, I'm just kidding.
Why would I want to go to Cuba, though? Well, where are you going?
I would always go to Cuba with you guys, but somebody else is planning the trip, so I didn't
know.
want to assume.
See,
But if you want to go, I'll
I've told you where I
Josh
want to go.
doesn't like being hot.
I don't like being hot. I don't like being cold. I barely like being comfortable.
I want to.
But I told you where I want to go.
You want to go to Las Vegas?
During,
Star Trek?
Star Trek.
yes, convention.
That's in August.
STLV, which is
Yes.
not a disease. It's a Star Trek convention.
I think you should still go to Cuba. I really think you got to get over a bit of that, because your wife would love to go, and I think you would actually enjoy it. It won't be...
I've told my wife she's welcome to go to Cuba.
It won't be
I
as
don't have
hot
enough
as you
friends
think.
to do that with.
You won't be as uncomfortable as you think you would be.
I'm uncomfortable right now.
I think you should go.
We'll see.
I think you'd enjoy it more than you think you would.
You overestimate my ability to enjoy things.
First of all, what's your tolerance to alcohol?
Very little.
4.
You won't even remember most of it.
No, that's the thing. I remember everything, right up until I pass out, and then I'm unconscious.
The alcohol flows.
Does it?
Yes.
I don't even know how to. I ran out of things to say.
All
The
right.
kids have even been to Cuba and I haven't.
You haven't been to Cuba?
No.
Go to Cuba then. Nobody's stopping you.
You want me to
Ooh.
take your wife to Cuba?
If you want to. Do I get to
You get the
play
kids.
WoW every night? Yeah, they're pretty low maintenance.
Two of them.
Mm-hmm.
2 of the 3 are.
Nah, they all are if they give them tablets and computers and stuff. I'll teach the youngest one how to play WoW, and he can be my pocket healer.
Okay.
Do you think I could teach him how to play like a priest or something?
Not
You
yet.
see, we slid this right into a WoW conversation. So, teaching kids to play WoW. What age is appropriate?
I don't know. Sam's like 33, and I'm still trying to teach her to play.
I am
so-
not 33 yet.
No, I didn't say difficulty.
Aren't you? How old are you?
No. I'm only 32.
I didn't say
Not
difficulty.
there yet.
Oh, but you turn 33 really soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't say difficulty. I said appropriate.
Oh, what would be inappropriate about it?
Oof.
There's really
Murder?
nothing.
The players.
Oh, well, I mean, sure. But all we have to do is teach him not to join a guild or something. I don't know.
You want to join my guild?
In this, that's from a video. In this scenario, I'd be having him follow me around, healing me.
Yeah.
But-
Just go here, and when I do something, press this button. Well,
He's
I said
knocking again.
just go here, so that was for effect.
Oh, okay.
See, I told you, he does it for emphasis sometimes.
Effect.
Okay,
Do you
so
want a shot of Batson?
holy, we've been recording for 43 minutes. We need to get on. We haven't talked about any of my list of things.
Most of this can be edited out.
A good part of it, probably. Okay, so there's a story that I want to tell because I need to get this into the episode. It's important. So my shaman, I finished leveling my shaman. I don't remember when we recorded last. Were our shaman and warrior 80 yet?
I don't remember.
Okay, if they weren't, they are now.
They were.
So our shaman warrior are 80. You basically haven't been playing your warrior, but I've
I
been
got to
playing
80
my
and
shaman.
then I was done because I did a thingy and I was naked in the dungeon and I got uncomfortable and I don't want to play it anymore.
You mean your gear broke,
Yes.
Yeah.
and you just felt newbie and you didn't like it?
Yeah.
Get over
I
those-
felt like
You know what?
they were all judging me and now I can't play it.
But
Yeah,
they were our
nobody
guildies.
Said, nobody
Some
said
of them
anything.
was all of them?
Yeah, that was a full guild group.
Oh,
So they didn't. Well, one of them was me.
yeah. And you were
then,
judging me.
Then there was the warrior. You were there too?
You were there too?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was me, Al, and the warrior and priest husband and wife combo in our guild.
Oh.
So, A, they don't care. B, they know who you are. And they know that you're married to me, so they're going to be nice to you, so I stay in the guild.
So if I was to leave the guild because they were like doing something mean to me, would you leave the guild?
Yeah. I'd just find a better guild.
Oh.
I could find another guild. I'm staying in this one because it's nice and comfortable.
Okay. I'm not saying
It's
they're
no
being
pressure. It's there. We get things done, but we're casual. And you're making me stray from my story,
mean. Sorry, you could have interrupted me.
but I didn't want to.
To make short story long. If
Which we do
if
every time we try and tell a story.
If we wipe nobody judges. If we die stupidly, nobody judges.
But like my everything was broken, and I literally just stood behind everybody because I couldn't do anything. I did get my unarmed up though.
Practice your unarmed skill. The thing is, it's a heroic, and we're in the end stages of phase 1, where everyone else in the group was fully geared, and you could have done absolutely nothing. You could have just been on auto follow the whole time, and it wouldn't have mattered.
Okay, finish your story.
You would have been fine. Okay, so my shaman, who I got to 80 and was like, I want to gear up my enhancement shaman because enhancement shaman is so much fun to play. I'll get into how cool shamans are in a second. I got to tell the story first. So, one of the raids I've been doing Naxx 10, 25, and EOE and OS 10 and 25, trying to get gear, just pugging them on off nights, which have gone surprisingly well. The pug raid community on our server is quite good. Like, I have encountered almost no toxic behavior, and everyone's been very nice and accommodating, and it's been good. I am enjoying the pug raids. But I did do a Naxx 10, and I was on my shaman, and shamans have totems, so hold that in your head for a second. So we're going through the raid, and we get to Grobulus, which, do you know the fights at all? Do you know who Grobulus is?
Grob is the guy that with the poison hand?
I think. Does he have a poison hand? He's the one that drops the poison puddles.
Does he have the injector?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, the guy that they ran up yesterday to get him. That's Grobulus.
Yeah, you run up and get him, and then you kite him around the room.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's rules for Grobulus, okay? So you don't stand in front of him, because you don't want to get his cleave damage, I guess. You don't want to die, because if you die, you spawn oozes. And you want to make sure you're dropping your poison puddles in appropriate places, and you do not want to cleanse the poison, like the effect that you get, because it like drops the poison right where you are, and I think it spawns oozes or something. Either way, it's bad. You don't want to cleanse this thing. You want to give people time to get it out of the raid. Bad things happen if you cleanse. So we're doing this, and I'm melee DPS, enhancement shaman, right? And we're running through, and we're fighting them, and it's starting to get chaotic. So like there's just puddles of poison everywhere. There's like dozens of these like little ooze blobs spawning, and I'm doing my best to stay on the boss and do my DPS, and all the while thinking to myself, oh, what have I gotten myself into? These guys must be like complete noobs. How do you mess up the Grobulus fight? This is just bad. Like, this is dumb. Like, nobody does this badly on Grobulus.
I feel like I'm in a tunnel, and I can see the sign at the end.
You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And this whole thing's going on, and I'm like, man, these guys are bad. And eventually we wiped. We got them down to like 25%. So, I mean, we did good considering the absolute chaos that the fight was. So we released because we all ran back, because I could have onked, but there was just so much chaos in the room. Reincarnated, because I'm a shaman. I don't know if that was the terminology that you do. So I could have done that, but I was like, no, there's too much chaos in this room. We're all just releasing and running back. It's not a long run back. So on the way back, I'm sitting on my mount, flying towards Naxx, and I look at my totem bar, and I've got my normal loadout of totems that I have for most of Naxx, because there are a lot of mobs that poison. So I've got my Strength of Earth totem, which gives me the strength and the agility. I've got my Magma totem, which does the area of effect fire, and I can hit my Fire Nova, and it does like a Fire Nova blast. It's great for DPS. I've got my Wind Fury totem that gives melee haste. Everybody loves melee haste.
Thumbs
up.
Even those Deathknights. The Deathknights can use the melee haste to snapshot their gargoyle. It's good stuff. And I had my Cleansing totem, because that's just part of my totem layout, and I didn't switch it out, and I realized that chasing this guy around the room, I kept redropping my totem loadout, so I made sure I had it close by, and I'm thinking, oh no, this was my fault.
Did you tell them?
Yeah, as I was flying back, I was like, oh no, I had my cleansing totem out. I did this was my fault. And they were like, it's fine, just don't do that next time, and we'll get him next time. And we did. It was fine. But nobody freaked out, because clearly I knew that I wasn't supposed to, because I'm the one that brought it up. I'm like, oh yeah, I had my cleansing totem out. So right away it's like, okay, so he knows you're not supposed to cleanse. And he just realized he did it anyways. So yeah, I caused the chaos. And it made me think of it last night because one of our shamans, midway through the fight, was like, "Oh no, I've been dropping my cleansing totem," and I was like, "I've been there before."
So is that why that fight seemed a little more difficult?
Yes, because when you're cleansing, it starts dropping the poison just wherever the person's standing, because the cleansing totem will tick every 6 seconds, I guess. And I'm pretty sure when you cleanse it, it just drops it right there. And it either just drops it in an inconvenient spot, or it drops it in an inconvenient spot and spawns an ooze. I'm not 100% sure if it does just one or both.
Oh.
But it's not... it's bad.
So the poison on the ground is the poison that was in us just cleansed from us?
Yes, but because it puts the debuff on you, right? And it calls out your name on DBM. So you run to a safe spot, because when that ticks down, I think it's like a 10-second timer or something. When it ticks down to 0... the poison wears off, and when the poison wears off, it goes down onto the ground, and you get the puddle that starts growing.
Okay, yeah.
So that's how the fight works. But if you've got puddles just forming absolutely everywhere, then you start to have a problem.
Yeah. I wasn't overly familiar with it. I just, when my name came up, I said, okay, I'm just going to run out of the raid.
Yeah, that's a good bet. Just pretend you're the bomb.
Yes. If you bring back a little bit of the Blackwing layer.
That was Molten Core, but yes. The bomb? Barongeddon?
Oh, I was thinking of the second boss in Blackwing Lair.
Which one's the second boss in Blackwing Lair?
Puts the bomb on you and you have to run out?
Yeah, that's Barongeddon and Molten Core. Or is that in Blackwing Lair as well? Veilistraz.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. I guess there is one of those in Blackwing Lair as well. Yeah, so those 2 fights. Yeah.
Nice. That's funny that you're actually responsible for that.
Yeah, so I thought that was funny because I've actually I've been really good with my shaman. Like, I've done well. I'm usually rated like the top of the damage meters. It's been going well. I've rated with a couple other guilds who have pulled me in as like I think the Naxx 10 that I did this week, or the most recent one I did, I was the only person added into this guild raid, and they were all really nice, and it went well. But yeah, shamans are fun to play though.
So I don't want to take away from Sam having a chance to talk about it. This kind of goes along the lines with what you were just talking about, is staying behind Grobulus. Everything that was going on, I was having a hard enough time seeing everything on the screen, especially when that text box came up.
Yeah, your chat bubbles.
That chat box,
which I didn't know could even happen in WoW.
I couldn't tell if I was in front of or behind. Instructor Vesuvius was one where I had a hard time telling if I was in front of or behind, because everybody crowded him, and I'm trying to get around him, and I can't see anything, and then this thing goes off, which, you know what, I won't miss that, because that's the person that left the guild. I couldn't see anything. I actually had to put that person on ignore for a little while, and I don't even know if that worked, or if he just stopped doing it for a bit.
No, he had it bound to his abilities, so it was going on for the whole raid.
That was the most annoying thing, and I'm the most annoying person in the world.
It was less annoying when you don't have it popping up as chat bubbles covering your whole screen.
And then the last fight, okay.
KT?
Yeah, okay, so we got the range 10, all right? We have to have the light spread.
Okay, but you can't, though.
I can't.
No.
And
they say, so the thing with KT is, don't feel bad for not getting range 10. We have a very melee-heavy guild. So the thing with KT is you have your melee on the boss. Basically, you have to make sure that you're not encroaching on the tank, so you don't ice block the tank, which a couple people did last night because I was main tanking the boss, and I saw them get close, and then I saw them get ice blocked, and I was ice blocked, and I was like, close. Don't do that. You got close a couple times, but you never ice blocked me.
Yeah, so here's the thing, though. I was like circling around this dude, because if I went back, I can't reach him. I come in, and there's like 15 people.
Yeah,
exaggerating a little bit.
No, I don't think you were.
And then this thing goes off, the chat bubble, and as I'm going around this guy trying to find a place to stand, and the chat bubble comes up, I walked right into the circle.
See, it should have been...
And I was mad.
It should have been explained better, I think. Because one thing our guild does not do on KT is by the time we get to KT, everyone's like, all right, let's just get this done. And we don't bother going into too in-depth strategy because it's a fight that you're going to win.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard.
I already know my job on that fight.
I know, poke the guy in the back. But here's the thing with the range 10.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
It's when they said the range 10, and I tried really hard to do this properly, and then even as I'm coming around, they said, all right, don't be around these two. And I look, okay, I'm right on both of them. So I moved over. I got you off
Yeah.
of my scanner, and the other tank was still in there. So I'm just like, okay, fine. Then I went around again. This is the round where I hit the red.
Yeah.
And I died.
Well, here's what somebody said, but they said it very quietly. I don't know if you heard it, because the one of the people called out to stay away from our main tank normally, but they were not tanking the boss. I was. So then that person said, "Oh, you don't need to stay away from me during this phase, just when the ads are up," and then they pull the ads away anyway. So you don't have to worry about the other person. The only person you have to be range 10 from is the person tanking KT. So because we have our tank, and then we usually have at least like 8 melee DPS. So what most organized raids will do for that fight, because you cannot spread out and have like 9 or 10 people all range 10 surrounding this tiny hitbox, what they'll do is they'll split the melee into 2 stacks. And they'll say, okay, you, and you're in stack 1, and you'll be here. You, and you're stack 2, you're here. And they'll split the melee raid so that an ice block won't hit everybody. At worst, it's going to hit half the stack. And you can heal through it. It's not like instant death, but it can kill you. So they'll do that, and then you make sure you stay in your stack, and then the whole melee group will adjust when there's ground hurting, and then it's fine. But when they just say, okay, go in and keep range 10 from everybody, it's impossible. So that's the wrong thing to say.
I had the same issue with Sartharian?
Saffron?
Saffron?
Which one are we talking
Saffron.
about? The Naxx one? Saffron.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they said range 10 as well. So
I don't even turn range 10 on for that.
I'm trying to get in there in range 10. I always ended up towards the back end. What happens when you end up at the back end of a dragon?
You get tail swiped.
I got tail swiped, so
but
I got knocked out so many times.
So you don't actually need to be range 10 when meleeing the boss. The range 10 for Saffron is just during the air phase.
But they kept mentioning it, so I tried so hard.
Yeah, no, you don't. You can't do it then.
Yeah.
The only thing, when Saffron's on the ground, you need to be not at her tail or his. I just assume it's a her. I don't know why. You have to be not at her tail, not at her head, and try kind of to stay out of the ice rain. Although, I mean, it doesn't do that much damage.
Yeah, I noticed it though, because
it slows you. But I mean, but you just all clump up, and then when they say when our raid leader yells light spread because it's air phase, then you back up, and then you want to make sure you're not standing right beside somebody, because if you get the ice block, it does like a little 10-yard AoE and knocks people back and damages them.
Yeah, see, I know that fight too, but just when they were mentioning, you got to get the space, like, oh, okay, so I'm really trying hard to do this properly, and I didn't die on that fight, but
no, not me. I don't think anybody did.
But it was kind of annoying. And yes, one of the ice blocks we were hiding behind was being rained on, and we just stayed in it, and we were fine.
Okay, so that's that. Well, yeah, I know, because the rain, like, it does damage, but especially if you're not trying to do the achievement and somebody has their like frost resist aura up, it doesn't do that much damage. Like, it can be easily healed through. It's better to take a little bit of frost rain damage than to walk out in front of the ice blast and get instant killed, or get tail swiped and knocked way back to the back of the room, or go in front of the dragon and get whatever happens when you go up there. So it's funny. Okay, so I was doing I think it was a 10-man Naxx at one point, and we had a mage in the raid, and when the ice blocks went out, the mage ice blocked, and I went and stood behind the mage, and they were like, no, not that ice block, and I was like, what? Oh, it's a mage. And I just barely made it.
Wow.
And the mage was like, it's a good thing you didn't stand behind me, because, or no, he's like, yeah, that almost backfired on me, because his ice block wore off before the blast went off, and he just barely made it behind one of the ice blocks too. He was trying to get somebody killed for a laugh. But I'm like, oh, it's a good thing this wasn't, well, it was one of our undying runs, but someone had already died. But yeah, that was fun. What do we want to talk about next? So that was, shamans are fun. Shamans are hard. There's a lot to do and a lot to pay attention to.
Stone skin totem.
I rarely use it.
You said shamans are hard.
Yeah. So we'll go into depth. I want to go into more depth on shaman rotations and how they're kind of complicated and how the gearing's kind of interesting. Another episode, because we've been talking for a long time today. Do you guys have anything to say about anything?
I'm going to give the floor to Sam.
I'm good.
You have nothing to
I
say?
don't know what to say.
It's past Sam's bedtime. Sam's getting tired.
I think...
What have you been doing?
Ice Crown.
You haven't been doing this much this week because you haven't had a chance to play.
I just finished all the, what-you-call-it.
So why don't you like
Except
Ice Crown?
for Ice Crown.
Why don't you like Ice Crown?
I think because I'm not doing it with anybody.
Well,
Because it's not solo friendly?
No, it's not.
it's got a lot of elites, but most of it's soloable. But I'll come out and help you, and I still have a lot to do in Ice Crown as well.
Okay, but we are in different layers.
I don't
We
think
tried
so.
that.
Well, we can get to the same layer.
Yeah, just get yourselves to the
Oh.
same layer.
Yeah, and I'll bring Toe Rash up. I think if we do an episode on rotations, we should do 2. We should talk about our because I don't think we've actually ever talked about our rotations.
Yeah, is yours complicated? I know as a
can
paladin,
be.
mine's not. Basically, I've got like 4 abilities, and whichever one is lit up, I click on it.
Yeah, but then because I'm enjoying the warrior so much, I also want to talk about it, and because I have also been playing my alliance shaman, hoping that they do faction changes, and he's up to level 79 now.
I have
You
it.
don't have a shaman.
Sorry,
He
alliance
meant
druid.
druid.
Oh.
I have it on good authority that they are doing the faction transfer.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm enjoying playing him too, especially with the instant cast flight form. Sweet.
I hate that stupid druids. But yeah, transfer that druid over. Are you gonna? What spec are you gonna be if you transfer over?
I don't know.
Don't they need feral?
No, nobody needs to be feral.
Wasn't
I'm
our-
feral right now.
Yeah, well, leveling.
It's pretty sweet.
It sounds so needlessly complicated, though. Like, I've listened to some breakdowns on like how to play a feral DPS druid, and I don't have that much energy.
Well, you only need energy in cat
Partially
form.
intended.
Yeah. I think I pressed 2 buttons.
But to do it well, in air quotes. There are so many little min-maxy things you can do with a feral druid, like weaving in and out of stances and using this clickable thing and having this and this and this. Now, see, you shake your head and but if you want to be, you have to do all of this extra stuff just to be almost as good as a rogue.
I don't need to be almost as good as a rogue.
No, you don't need to be, but if you wanted to be almost as good as another DPS class, you have to put a ridiculous amount of effort into playing a druid.
So
Or you could play Boomkin or Resto and just be a normal person.
one thing I did do a little bit of a combination where I can get into bear form and cast bash,
Yeah, that's a thing.
which is just to interrupt because I don't have an interrupt in the cat form.
Oh, Josh should get an interrupt because he's really good at it.
My shaman has an interrupt, wind shear,
I was about
which
to say
everybody
that's
calls
really-
kick.
I was about to
Everyone's
say,
like, shamans, kick the frostbolt. It's like, it's not kick.
let the
Kick is a
frostbolt
rogue ability.
let the frostbolt go off, and if they say things, I was kicking them. Maybe next time I'll try
None of
wind
that
shear.
happened. Yeah.
No, I was going to say that when you said they have an interrupt, I was going to say that's rather earth shocking. But
No, that's not their interrupt anymore.
yes,
They
then
changed
I
that.
remembered that they split that apart. I was not a fan of splitting that apart.
See, I like it now because, and here's why. Okay, so the old Earth Shock it did damage, it caused high threat,
Yes.
like it was a taunt basically, and it interrupted. So as an enhancement shaman, I'm storm striking, right? And that gives me a damage buff to any nature damage which is my Earth Shock and my lightnings. And then I am Earth Shocking when it's up on cooldown as well. I don't want that to give me extra threat.
So it's the wind shear part of it that gives the threat.
No, Earth Shock itself added threat, but it no longer adds extra threat. Like, it just adds the appropriate amount of threat, and it slows attack speed.
So they should have just combined it all together and still had it interrupt.
Well,
get
no,
rid of
but
wind
it's
shear.
also... But Wind Shear is on a different cooldown. So Earth Shock's on like an 8-second cooldown or something. Wind Shear's on like a 2 or 3 second cooldown. I want to have that Wind Shear on a second cooldown, and I might be wrong, but I don't think Wind Shear is on the global cooldown. I think it's separate. So I think I can just... Because is Kick? Kick I don't think is either. Isn't Kick's not on the global cooldown either, is it?
No.
No, so I don't think Wind Shear is either. So I like having Wind Shear as a separate thing. And also I can Wind Shear without using the full amount of mana that an Earth Shock
Yeah.
takes.
Well,
It's
now-
basically, I think it's nice having the separate.
Yeah. We're now talking about rotations, though, that we wanted to do.
So we'll talk about rotations another time. There is one more thing I have. Let's see, I have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 things on my list that I wanted to talk to. I have now talked about one of them, so I want to talk about the second one.
Yeah. We've also not mentioned anything about Merrymaker other than a quick little jab at the beginning that we haven't done the BB gun. But we've all accomplished the Merrymaker. We've all gotten the achievement.
Yeah, I got mine.
And it was fun. It just feels like so long ago.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about the Merrymaker and our fun PvPing and all that other jazz?
I got it in 2 shots, and it took you guys how many times?
Okay, I picked the wrong person to talk about this.
So tell us what happened, Sam.
Well, you reminded us. Well, I think it was 3 times it took us. Took me.
It wasn't very many.
Because the first time you reminded everyone to get into elf form, or gnome form, or
Santa's little helper form.
or whatever form it was supposed to
Was
be.
it Santa? Whatever.
So we
his
did
little
it
helper.
twice. And then on the 3rd time, before we went in, I did it. No one reminded the other 2. So we went in, I got all 50 of mine, and they got nothing because they forgot to get into elf form.
Yes. The one time that only one of us remembered to get into our costume is the time that we went in and got like 40 kills in one battleground. So
The best part of that is I was done, so I went to bed and left you guys to do it yourself.
yes, we did eventually finish.
So that
And
was
we had some fun because that was
So is
Alterac
that what you
Valley.
wanted me to talk about?
That was Warsong Gulch, wasn't it?
No, that was Alterac Valley.
Okay, but there's a Warsong. Oh, and Warsong Gulch.
Warsong was our Nerd Rage.
No, we were in Warsong Gulch.
I think we did 1, and then we were like, no, we don't like this.
I think we might have done 2. I don't know, but either way, I got killed really fast, so I was a little bit perturbed.
You know what we did? We did do some Warsong. I remember what we did because I went into because I was group leader. I went into the PvP queuing and I queued us for all of the different battlegrounds.
Yes.
And we did them as they popped, and then once we got AV, we just kind of stuck with AV because it's easiest.
Yeah. So we were in Warsong Gulch and I got killed really fast. I decided, okay, enough of this. I'm just going to roam around. So everybody's out there fighting for the flag, and I walked up into the Alliance base. There was nobody there. So I'm just walking around. And all of a sudden, the Horde has dropped the Alliance flag. I said, oh, beauty. I grabbed it.
And ran.
And I walked it across the field. Captured it.
Oh, you did actually get the capture?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I didn't
Actually,
know
and I had to wait for the Horde flag to come out. So when I was running up, and I think you were following me.
I was following you to help protect
And
you.
I was waiting for you to ask, because when we went up, I took that right exit out. And you just follow me along, so that we
Was I not supposed to follow you?
No, I didn't think you'd know what that right
I've
exit
never been
was.
in there before.
It goes up to the roof.
Yeah, so it goes up the roof. So I'm up on the roof, so if they come into the room, then they have to come out and get me, which is not overly difficult, but it's just like a hiding spot.
Oh, okay.
But then I got the flag. I was so enthused.
I don't think I have a cap. I don't do enough PvP because I don't enjoy it anymore. I feel like I'd enjoy it.
Oh,
if
we got
I
the
was...
hug achievement too on the dead
Oh
body.
yeah, we finally figured out how to hug dead bodies.
Sorry. Who
You got it to
you
work.
got it first and told us how to do it.
I think I always knew because I was exactly right. It's just they're releasing really, really fast. You have to click on them before they release. As soon as they
Yeah,
release...
so I just made a macro for it and it worked.
Yeah. I didn't do a macro. I got it, and then I said, hey, look, guys. You know, like, how did you do that?
Yes.
And he sounded just like that. How did you do that?
That's Sam's voice, not my voice.
But speaking of Warsong Gulch, I was leveling way back when Heirloom came out the first time.
Uh-huh.
I had a druid called Wayside, and I leveled in the Warsong Gulch.
The whole way up, eh?
He got to 44.
Wow.
So up to 44? Yeah, wow.
Did you ever get exalted with the Warsong Gulch? See, that's one reputation that I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do.
Yeah.
Because you get so little for each battleground. You'd have to do thousands of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I did. You know what I did that really surprised people?
No.
I healed them.
As a rogue?
No, Wayside, my druid.
Oh, as a druid. Okay, you're talking about... Oh, yeah, right. Way back.
Yeah, I leveled them in a battleground in healing spec.
I can just see you wandering around with bandages. Well, my paladin that's on Alliance side, because I have 2 paladins for some reason, is heal spec with... I've been gathering PvP gear because I was leveling in Alterac Valley because during Joyous Journeys, that's another thing I have on my list, Alterac Valley was giving a ridiculous amount of experience. Like an Alterac Valley would take 10 to 12 minutes, and we were getting, like, for a victory, like 250,000 experience. Like, it was crazy. I would have been all the way to 80 if it wasn't Christmas and I had things to do. And
Sorry for having a family.
well, it's annoying. And I had to go to work, which is also annoying. So
I did not.
Hey, you can't blame just yourself for having a family. He came there too.
Oh my god.
So there's one more thing. There's one more thing I need to get in before this episode ends. So this is something I told you beforehand. I was like, there's a rogue ability that I just learned about, and you're signed up for the 10-man. I signed up for the 10-man with my shaman, and I want you to use this on me. It's called Tricks of the Trade.
Tricks of the Trade.
Did you know that Tricks of the Trade adds a 15% damage boost to the person that you use it on?
Yes.
I didn't. And I want you to use it on me every raid now.
But it dumps my aggro.
It does dump your aggro onto me, but it also makes me do 15% more damage.
You were my target of Tricks of the Trade for a bit last night.
And I didn't die. Did I?
Well, you were a tank. You're meant to have the aggro.
Oh, okay. Well,
the
then that was
idea
good.
is...
I did. Yeah, I forgot I did main tank last night.
The idea is that once I can get my rotation down, if I go in and especially do that fan and knives thing with the massive damage,
Yeah.
I got to get that Tricks of the Trade up, and that's going to be like a huge pump of aggro into you.
Yes. But on other on bosses and stuff, when the tank's got established aggro, use that Tricks of the Trade on me. Give me that little boost. Little boost. That's a big boost. Give me that big boost. 15%?
Well, I keep pumping it onto the tank. Every time it's on
No, the
cooldown,
tank
I
doesn't need
hit
it. The tanks are fine. Ignore the tanks. Put it on me. If I'm DPS. If I'm a tank, I mean, I guess still put it on me. But
Our whole first raid, okay, when I kept asking and nobody responded who the tank was, you were the target of my Tricks of Trade.
that's probably the raid where I was like, oh, wow, I'm doing extra damage.
Yeah.
So especially on those AoE packs that we do, put it on me. I'll start doing my Divine Storm and all the cleaving and
See,
if I die, I die, but I'll go out in a blaze of DPS.
so Patchwork, prime example. They tell us to stay out, and they want the tanks to go in there
Yeah,
so that they're on the lead.
yeah.
It's like, why can't I go in there?
Well, I mean,
can-
you should be able to if you've got your Tricks of the Trade.
My Tricks of Trade, and I can go in and start backstabbing right away and adding to the DPS.
Yeah, we'll do that then. I mean, hunters are allowed to because they misdirect. It's the same thing.
But they said, melee, stay out, melee.
Here's the thing, and I was thinking of this with our talk about the range 10 on KT and Saffron as well. Learn the fights, know the fights, and then ignore the raid leaders. Because I don't listen to our raid leaders ever, because I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what's going to get me killed. I know because I've gotten myself killed many times. I know what it takes. And I know all of the boss fights. And I know, for example, I know not to drop cleansing totems on Grovulus. I know what I'm doing. So if the raid leader's like, oh, don't do this, and I know that it's fine to do that, I'm going to do it anyways.
The thing that gets very frustrating
Go ahead. I want to say something when you're done.
is the raid leaders will tell range people to do something, and then you'll turn to me and be like, don't do that, do this. And I get very confused, and I don't know what I should be doing.
Do what I say. Why? When did I say that?
I don't remember, but it's happened.
Okay.
The one time I did raid.
Okay.
So,
Well, I don't know.
so what I'm thinking is a fun thing to do at Tricks of Trade,
Uh-huh.
if you can out aggro the tank, is to aim it at the healer. But I'm also thinking if we get some mouthy, especially some mouthy squishies, if we're all grouping together and we get some mouthy squishies, Tricks of Trade, misdirect onto the mouthy squishy.
See, for that to be funny, you have to do a lot more DPS than you've been doing. I turned it into a burn.
Burns.
If you look at your threat meters, if you're down low in the threat meters, then you can dump your aggro on whoever you want. It's not gonna matter.
I'm down low on my threat meters because of Tricks of Trade.
I know, I'm just joking. So we've been recording for an hour and 15 minutes, and I feel like we're gonna have at least an hour of usable something out of this. So we should probably defer the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 items on my list to next week's episode and say goodbye for today.
That's outrageous.
Every time.
Goodbye.
This